everybody, how's it going? It's me, the Y2K reviewer here. I'm bringing back movie reviews. That's right, they're back. This is my way of basically saying I want to produce content as relatively as much as I possibly can. I am actually currently working on a much bigger video that requires a lot of heavy editing. That's going to be a lot longer than this video, I'm sure. So that's why I haven't really been making anything too big recently, is because I'm currently working on something, that's why I haven't posted much anything really. So yeah, I'm going to try to at least make one movie review a month while I'm working on something else. I want to obviously do more than just one movie review a month. I would like to ideally do 4 movie reviews a month, 1 a week. Depends just on how life is. So if you're new to the channel, if you have subscribed recently, please stick around if you want to see this kind of content. It would mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot to my family. Seriously, it really helps. So today I'm talking about something very near, dear, and nostalgic to my heart that I grew up on. And it's a series, it's a movie trilogy that I never thought about, or movie franchise I should say, that I never thought about really talking about, but I guess I should go back to my roots to when I was a child. My dog is here as a guest star. She's just chilling next to me right now. That is none other than the original, the classic 1995 Toy Story. This movie is a little under a year than me. I'm a year older than it. This is my original VHS copy, and as you can tell, it's seen better days. It has seen better days. We never got rid of our VHS tapes growing up. Holy crap. But yeah, Toy Story, man, this movie is iconic. Pixar's first film. I mean, I'm sure you all seen it. And I don't know what the title of this video is going to be called quite yet. Probably just called Toy Story Movie Review or Toy Story Trilogy Review. And if it's called Trilogy Review, then as you can tell, I'm going to try to look and analyze and go over all 3 films and how I feel about them. I also want to try to do this with the Star Wars trilogy, with the Dark Knight trilogy, maybe with the Lord of the Rings trilogy, maybe. Why not? It's more fun for me to talk about all these movies as one giant story. So, kind of, but yeah. First of all, I was 4 years old when I saw this film for the first time. I don't know if this is the first movie I've ever seen in my entire life, but it's the first I remember ever watching next to Jurassic Park. I think the first movie I actually ever saw, that honor might go to The Great Mouse Detective, which is a movie I haven't watched in a very, very, very long time. I saw it, the last time I saw the movie I think was roughly a little over 10 years ago. Maybe a little bit less than that. I remember roughly about 8 to 10 years ago. So I'm going to be 30 this coming Saturday, by the way. So, from this filming. So, it was, yeah, so I'm showing my age here. So, because of nostalgia, I want to see it again. I remember that. And I remember watching it, I'm like, this movie does not hold up as well as it did when I was a kid. That's one movie I might get around to reviewing eventually, just because it has a very special place in my heart. I might have to go back into it with a more open mind. But for today, we're talking about Toy Story. I also own the 10-year anniversary edition on DVD. I remember my parents got this back in the day. This is 2005. So I was only 10, 11 years old. So this is definitely them. My parents got this. So I remember this DVD set. It has been in my family for a long time. I also own 2 and 3 right here, but I don't own 4 yet. So I also really like 4, but I've only seen it once, and I thought it was fun. I liked Forky. I liked that Bo Peep was back. Keanu Reeves being in it was great. It was a fun movie. I liked the ending a lot too, but also, I liked and hated the ending of Toy Story 4. I loved and hated it. It made me feel a little emotionally upset, yes, and now I'm very concerned about Toy Story 5. I'm not super looking forward to that. I prefer if they made a Toy Story 0, but we'll get into that later on. So, Toy Story, right? This is Pixar's first film. Obviously, today doesn't look the best, maybe, but remember, this is the first of its kind, okay? Just because it's old doesn't mean it's bad. So, it's still an iconic film, one I highly recommend anybody in the world to watch. This is a movie I highly recommend everybody on planet Earth to see this film if you've never seen it before. This is one of those movies, yes, like the original Star Wars trilogy. So, I love Toy Story to death. Great classic film, a lot of the nostalgic memories. I'm not going to say too much maybe in this video for a couple of reasons. 1, because I'm reviewing a lot of movies, and 2, a lot of reviewers already said how I feel about these movies. Yes, they're great. Yes, they're fantastic. Yes, they're perfect. I think 3 was enough. I think 2 was even enough. It's weird that they even made up to 3, but they're good films at the end of the day. They are. They really are. Even 4 is a good movie, but we're going to get into 4 later on. We're going to get into 4 a little later on. So, I don't know, man. I remember falling in love with this movie when I was a kid, and I had no idea that there was so much so much thought was put into this film way ahead of time, more than some of you out there may even know. there actually is a Toy Story 0 story about Andy's father that the team at Pixar wrote out, and it sounds like there's a whole story about Andy's father, the main boy from the Toy Story movies, at least the first 3 films, that story could be made into a movie, a Toy Story 0, and it should be. We don't have that yet. I'm not sure why, but I love this movie. It is definitely, for me, I would give Toy Story 1 a 9 out of 10. Because it is very, very well made. It is very, very nostalgic. And the music is... I mean... You got a friend of me? Like, come on now. That's just iconic. You've got 2 iconic characters. 2 of the biggest iconic characters of all time in filming history. Buzz and Woody, voiced by, Tom Hanks and Tim Allen here. First thing I've ever seen them in ever. I mean, I think I watched a little bit of Home Improvement before I saw Toy Story, so I knew who Tom Hanks was. I mean, Tim Allen was. I was a little familiar with his voice, but every time I saw Tom Hanks on camera after this movie, I'm like, oh, that's Woody. Oh, it's Sheriff Woody. It's Woody. There he is. There's Woody again. So every time I hear Tom Hanks or see him in anything, I subconsciously just think about Woody, because that's why I resonate Tom Hanks with, is Sheriff Woody, the first character I've ever seen him voice or be in. I'm gonna do movie review on Big. I love Big. Big is great, but yeah, it's the story about these 2 toy characters that come to life, more outside of a kid's imagination, and this new fancy toy comes into the picture, Buzz Lightyear, and when he does, the old Raggedy Woody doll here gets very jealous because he was the favorite. He was Andy's favorite toy, the one he slept with, the one he played with, the one he interacted with the most, the one that he bonded with the most. And so Woody's like, I get this guy out of here, but every other toy under the sun in that house loves Buzz, and he gets along with them very well. They become best friends, but Buzz is also living a bit of a delusional life. He has no idea that he's actually a toy. He believes he is what his character is supposed to be, a space ranger. But he's actually a toy, and Woody, and they go through this big journey, the hero's journey, like every film story does, and then they come to terms to realize that they're both wrong in different ways. That Buzz actually is a toy, and he comes to accept that. And Woody was very wrong for the way how he treated Buzz and for the way how he responded to Buzz. He got over jealous, he got over anxious, he got over worried. He let his emotions drive him into situations that he should never put himself through or others through. But he did. And he realizes that, and the 2 of them become best friends after this realization. Or they bond and they escape this horrible house from the neighbor kid Sid, and they reunite with Andy and his mom, move to a new home. End of the movie, Andy gets a dog, and that's how we transition into Toy Story 2 with Buster, and we'll get into that later on. We'll get into that later on. I love these movies, man. Every time I watch them, I just smile. They're such fun, innocent family films, and that's a big part of why I also wanted to talk about this, man, because, I don't talk about a lot of, I talk about some family things on my I mentioned Sonic is a family-friendly franchise, yes, for the most part, but, still, though, I just love Toy Story, I do. And, the house, that's right, in Toy Story 1 that they're living in, I don't know if this is 100% true. I can't remember if John Lasseter, who was I believe it was either John Lasseter or someone else who was a co-founder of Pixar, wrote the whole story about Andy's father's backstory. I believe that the house they live in the first film, it's canonical, okay, unless if it gets retconned, which I don't think it's going to ever, is the house that Andy's father grew up in. And there's pictures of Andy on the wall by the staircase in the beginning of the film. That's Andy's father, because he's wearing the glasses, and it's like that's obviously his dad. And the Woody doll is the prototype that Andy's father won, that we'll get into, that they touch on a little bit with Toy Story 2 with Woody's Roundup. That's where he really came from. It all makes sense, right? So it's all Andy's father. Andy's father died of, I believe he has some disease that killed him off. So all the toys, he left them away in an attic, and he finds them. They believe they're the same person, but I think the toys might pick up that it's his son, but it's Andy Jr., but they just call him Andy anyways, and that the mom looks different, like obviously, because maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they just figured it out without saying anything to Andy himself one day, and they just figure, he's still important to us. So anyways, Toy Story 2, another timeless classic movie. This tape is not as beat up as the first movies, but here it is, the iconic, the classic Toy Story 2. What a beautiful film. This is my favorite Pixar movie of all time, but now it's rivaled with Inside Out 2. Y'all saw my Inside Out. Y'all saw my Pixar movie tier list. Then you know how I feel about these movies, right? Because I made that review. I made that video. So, oh yeah, I kind of already reviewed the movies. All right, video's over. No, I'm joking. Let's move on to the glorious, the iconic Toy Story 2. Oh my god, I haven't seen these discs in years. Holy crap. Look how red... Look at that. It looks awesome. Just how red these discs are. Wow. Or I don't know if it's been years, but it's been a long time. It's been a long time for me. Yeah. Tom Hanks, Tim Allen. Disney presents the Pixar film. Toy Story 2, by far the best Pixar movie I've ever seen until fairly recently, like I said. This looks a little bootleggy, actually. Maybe it's... Well, I mean, the cover art does. Maybe that's just their like stylistic choice of like lighting. But the discs don't look that bad. They look pretty official to me, so I'm sure they are. I think I got this at a store a long time ago. I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet. But yep, good old Toy Story 2. So Toy Story 2 is, again, I said it enough times in the video, it's the best movie they made so far. It is a very iconic film. I love it to death. The characters come back, Buzz and Woody, you know, the whole cast. And now there's a new member, like I mentioned, Buster the dog is there. What's his name? What's his name? Buster? It was like, it wasn't Bullseye. No. That's the horse. I think it is Buster. Yeah, that's right. Andy's dog. And in this film, Andy is going to cowboy camp. Which I guess that's a real thing, and when he at the time, that seems more believable back in like the early 2000s versus today. Maybe it still is a thing. I don't know. But anyways, Andy's going to cowboy camp, right? And Woody was going to go with him. Well, obviously, right, it's one of the same, and all the characters are rooting for Woody, including Buzz, you know, because now they bond and they're friends. And Woody's arm breaks in the movie. It like rips, you know, because he's made of stuffing. He's a doll, and so Woody gets up behind. During that, all that, and he gets raggled up with like a yard sale. He gets accidentally raggled up with that, and this other guy who's you know, the villain Al, which Al's father was Andy's dad's boss. Again, this would be perfect for Toy Story 0. They gotta make that movie. Come on, Pixar, we don't want Toy Story 5. Nobody wants Toy Story 5. We want Toy Story 0. Give us Toy Story 0. Give us Toy Story 0. I cannot say it loud enough. If you just Google search Toy Story 0, you'll see the video. But I think they're called the something brothers. I forgot what they're called, but it's right there. It's like one of the biggest viewed videos that I can think. I don't know. Look, we all know about Toy Story 0. I'm sure you've all seen that video. I don't have to get into it. It's just asking if Pixar's not making the movie. It's so weird. Anyways, just look it up. So if you're curious, so anyways, Toy Story 2. Okay, you should be curious because story absolutely matters when it comes to film. Okay. Anyways, let me continue. And hence the name of the movie. It's in right there. Toy Story. It's in the title. Like, come on, you know, plot. But I know I'm sure Toy Story 5 will be a good movie. I don't think they're gonna throw like a bunch of like random shenanigans into the film. If it's anything like Inside Out 2. That'd be great. You know, that's what I want, more movies like that from Pixar, more creativity like that. Even so, though, I don't think it's going to be any better than that film. But I don't know. There's not a chance in hell. I'm sure it won't be. Oh, sorry for the swearing. But it may be. So we'll have to wait and see. It might be. Okay, Toy Story 2. Okay. Let's just focus on Toy Story 2 for a bit. So yes, we get introduced to Buster. Woody gets kidnapped by Al, the toy barn guy, because he wants to auction Woody with these other characters, Jesse, Bullseye, and Sticky Pete from this old show called Woody's Roundup. And they're the characters right there in the back of the box and in the front of the box. All the characters, they're right there. And Jessie is super important to the story overall. There she is. There they are, the toys on the bottom. And her story, man, oh my god. This is, you know, there's been memes online of people like, oh my god, Pixar movies make me cry, Pixar movies make me cry. I think the first true Pixar film to ever make anyone cry, I think it was this movie right here. And none of y'all forgot it. I didn't cry when I first saw this movie because, you know, I watched it with my family. And I didn't really like to express my emotions like that with them around. Because I had a very awkward family life, let's just say that. It's nothing like out of the ordinary, just not really for me. I guess you could say 0 out of 10 would not recommend. But watching this movie now with my current family, or even by myself, as an adult, I don't know. I'm more in touch with my emotions as I go out through life and with therapy and friends and stuff. I have got this movie definitely gets to me. Jesse's story, oh, it touches my heart. Maybe it has something to do with the age. I'm not sure, an experience. I don't know, but I definitely get all choked up watching this now versus back then. So yes, Jesse's story does really resonate with me. Of course, we were also introduced to the fun and beloved and iconic evil Emperor Zurg. How can I not mention Zurg? His scene in the movie is the best part of the whole film when Buzz and him reunite, or the Blue Belt Buzz. Oh my god, funny stuff. I love Toy Story 2. I love this movie so much. Mwah! I'll kiss it. Mwah, mwah, mwah. This is my childhood copy. Of course I'm gonna kiss it. Yeah, I love this movie. Best Pixar movie of all time, if you ask me. It's a great film. You haven't seen it, you're missing out. Don't skip the first one, though, because it's not as good without watching 1 first. I'm not trying to crap on 1 here. It's like watching Spider-Man 1 than watching Spider-Man 2 or Star Wars The Empire. You gotta watch the first one before you get into the sequel. I mean, sometimes the sequel is better than the first film, but in most cases, when the sequel is better than the first movie, like 90% most of the time, the first movie is still really good, and the first movie is still worth watching, and the first movie is still a very iconic, important film. Like 90% of the time, like Star Wars, Spider-Man, Batman Begins, like it's like, yeah, those movies are still iconic, they're still important, you should still watch them. Don't skip over to 2, watch the first one first, The Fellowship of the Ring, which, okay, fine. All 3 Lord of the Rings films are perfection, but even so, you gotta watch the first one. You gotta watch the first Toy Story. In fact, I dare say that the Toy Story trilogy here is one of those cases where we have a perfect trilogy. Absolutely. In fact, this is a perfect family-friendly trilogy because all 3 films are rated G for general audience. So, yeah, be that as it is, like seriously, or make that as you want to. But yeah, these are perfected films, fantastic films. So, Toy Story 2 is like I said, a perfect movie. I love it to death. Some of y'all out there may think it's overrated. Most of us will crucify you for thinking that, but that's just us. I'm just saying, who cares? It's still a great movie. We love Toy Story 2. It's an awesome film, like most people do. Oh my god, the freaking traffic cone scene when they're trying to get to Al's Toy Barn, hilarious. And the bloopers. I was, as a little kid, the biggest fan of A Bug's Life. I still love that movie today. And I wish they would make a sequel. Actually, I watched it recently, and I feel like this is like a C, B tier film. It holds up pretty well. I think I put it like in the C or B tier in my Pixar tier list. It's a movie that I wish got a sequel, but I'm kind of glad I never did get one because it's fine for what it is. At least, could you imagine like a remake with like newer Pixar like CG graphics? Maybe, but even so, none of that's necessary. The film itself is perfectly fine the way it is. But yeah, you know, a proper Bug's Life 2 sequel movie would be great. It would be fantastic. Maybe it'll happen one day, but I seriously doubt it. We don't need it though. We got Toy Story 2. We do, and it's perfect. Okay, so moving on. I know. I that's all I gotta say about Toy Story 3. Or Toy Story 2, I'm sorry. Moving on to this movie that felt like forever for Defining Game. Now, when I was a kid, I didn't think twice about Toy Story 3, but I also kind of didn't want it because I was like 4 or 5 when Toy Story 2 came out. Yeah, I think I was. I think my parents showed me the first one because 2 was coming out. And I don't remember if I saw it in the theaters or not, but I think I did. I think I might have seen Toy Story 2 in the theaters. But the first Pixar movie I remember seeing in theaters was Monsters, Inc. And you best believe there's going to be a Monsters, Inc. review coming up. Absolutely. There will be. Eventually. But Toy Story 3 is a great film. I love this movie to death. I do. I didn't cry anything at the end of the movie. Not even now. But it still does kind of get to me. I think the ending is a little too weird to really, like, feel that way about it. But it's also very touching. And it's also pretty, like, relatable. Like, if I was Andy, I give my toys to my kids. I'm not giving them to no strange girl down the road. I'm giving it to a child who lives by my house. I'm giving it to the kids that I am going to, well, basically, well, you know, birth with my wife. The children that my wife birthed. That the kids who I have now. Yes, obviously, you know, share my toys with them. We share them together. It's a very nice buying experience. But Toy Story 3 is still a beautiful film with all these kooky characters. I forgot about Barbie and Ken. And this octopus guy, and of course, how could we forget this prick right here? This freaking jerk, Lotso Teddy Bear. I know. I'm swearing a bit. I'm sorry. I apologize. Okay, this is YouTube, right? Don't let your kids watch YouTube by themselves. I'm just saying. So, yeah, Lotso Teddy Bear. He's a complete piece of work. He is, isn't he? Oh God, what a freaking manipulator. He is an evil, vile manipulator. But even so, I love this movie. I thought it was great. I loved seeing it in theaters. When I saw it in theaters, there was like a group of adults dressed up as the characters sat in the front row. I'll never forget that. This is back in 2010. I swear to God, I think it was 2010, maybe 2009, but I think it was 2010. I think this movie came out in 2010. I'm sure it did. I have a pretty good memory when it comes to like releases and like anything, and like in terms of like year. But yeah, I remember I was like 14. God, I think I was 14 when this came out. That was definitely 2010. It was. But yeah, it was a big deal. You know, again, it was just kind of weird that they made this like all this time later, after Monsters Inc., after Finding Nemo, after The Incredibles, after Cars, after Wall-E, after Ratatouille. We finally got Toy Story 3. And it's like, okay, thanks for that. We loved it. Why'd you make a fourth one? Right? It was a good movie. It was. I definitely enjoyed Toy Story 4. It was fun. It was a good time. But like, they're so wholesome and well-written films, and their themes and their messages. It goes beyond just toys. It's about, at the end of the day, we all know what the Toy Story movies are really about. They're about family and friendship and bonding, and how important it is to be there for someone that you truly care about, and how they're there for you. That's really what these movies are about. It's about that at the end of the day. It is. But for the fact that it's being told through toys makes it super relatable for children. And yes, for the longest time, I did believe my toys were actually alive. In fact, at times I still think they have feelings, don't they? My toys right over there on my TV shelf. I always treat them like people, pretty much, because it's like these movies kind of taught you to do that. And before that, the Brave Little Toaster came out, and the Brave Little Toaster was made by the same exact team that made the Toy Story films. That's right, John Lasseter again. That's the only name I can think of when it comes to Pixar. I should stop thinking his name around, because he did some terrible things. I know. But, Brave Little Toaster got invented, the movie did, and then that inspired the Toy Story films that get created. The more you know, right? Awesome. Okay. I might make a movie review of the Brave Little Toaster one day, but for right now, I want to talk about this iconic anthology/trilogy of films. These are definitely Pixar's like best movies, or their best franchise. It's the biggest iconic one, next to Monsters Inc. Okay, their best movie is honestly probably The Incredibles. Probably, yeah. And then there's Inside Out 2, which I love. Inside Out 2, I love it. Or Inside Out 1 and 2. And I also really love Ratatouille, Wall-E, Up. Up is a freaking classic, which I think that was out after Toy Story 3. Oh my God, are they gonna make it Up 2? I don't think they're going to. No, they might. They could, but I think it should be without the old man, without Carl, because maybe he passed on. And no, I don't think they're going to do all that. Not that they need to. I don't know why we never got a Monsters Inc. 2. Like, what's going on with Monsters Inc. story development? It's so weird how they made a prequel and then the sequel TV show. What are they thinking? We wanted a Monsters Inc. 2 from the very beginning. Since we first saw the whole movie, the very ending left you with wanting a second film. And they just teased us for 20 years. I want the whole story behind that. I'm going to say some things I shouldn't say and care about that, so I was about to, but no, I'm not going to. But, wow, I need to know what's going on with that, because we want Monsters Inc. 2. Why don't we have Monsters Inc. 2? Give me answers. Monsters Inc. 2. Okay, anyways, guys. That was pretty much my review. I'm sorry it seemed kind of it was just basically 25 minutes of filler, I know. But I have fun talking about these movies and remember my emotions with them. I remember the last time I saw Toy Story 3, the ending when they're in the boiler, though, did give me anxiety. I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. That is a pretty terrifying scene for a children's film. Oh my Lord, for a family film. It is, but it was still a fun movie. It is. With the daycare and the characters, and you got Rex and Miss Potato and the Slinky Dog, Ham. Oh, the opening with Annie's Imagination. That was awesome, too. I remember when I first saw that, I was like, what's going on? I freaking love this. And then it got revealed what it was. I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's really clever, like storytelling. I love that. It's super smart. That was great. When we see with the whole train heist scene. I even have the video games of the Toy Story trilogy. I do. I haven't beat any of them yet, but dang, they're awesome, especially the second one. And I wanted to get the Toy Story through the game for the 360 for the longest time. I finally have it. In fact, one second. All right, here I am back with the games. All right. Here's the first one on Genesis, which it looks great on Genesis. It does. I think this is an alternate box art. Yeah, this is like the VHS tape. Yeah, it is. I remember because I saw this. I was like, this looks like the VHS tape, so I'm going to use this instead. This is custom box art. It is, but there's the actual game with the actual artwork. Here's Toy Story 2 on the PS1. I know I don't have the manual yet. Maybe one day. And here's Toy Story 3 on the Xbox 360. I know they're all different platforms, but that's okay. All great games to play, all great movies to watch for a great, perfect mwah, movie franchise / trilogy. Trilogy, okay? Now, Toy Story 4 is a great film. I like I said, I did love it, and I've only seen it once, so I can't really review it too much. Maybe I should review it by itself. Yeah, you know what? I'll do that. I'll just call this video Toy Story Trilogy Review, and I'll make my own review one day, maybe of Toy Story 4, maybe, and I might do a review of 5 when I get home. There's really nothing negative I can say about these films. I love them all. I really do. There's not much I don't care for. I care for every. Oh yeah, that's right. I saw this video recently about talking about how they kind of ruined Buzz's character, especially in the 4th film. And I kind of agree. Again, I've only seen 4 once, so I really need to recheck on that later. But overall, it didn't really bother me because I've only seen it once, and that didn't really pick up on it. But I'm sure if I watch again, I'll be like, oh yeah, that is kind of weird that they ruined Buzz Lightyear. Like, no, come on, he's so iconic, and especially in the first 2 movies. Especially I feel like in Toy Story 2, man, his character development arc goes full circle in Toy Story 2. He gets Woody back into being in Andy's life and accepting who he is, just like how Woody helped him accept that he's a toy and that he's being in Andy's life for that reason. Well, so yeah, kind of. He kind of does in Toy Story 1. I know Woody's very jealous of Buzz at first, but then he comes down to earth a bit and he helps Buzz realize that he's also important and they're both equally important for Andy's life. And that was a really wonderful, beautiful message. Again, that's something that you can resonate as a human being in any position you are in life. Like if you're jealous over something, it's important to be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be jealous. Maybe I should come to earth and realize that things aren't quite how I think they are, or something. I don't know. I felt that way before, so I'm sure most of you that watch this video have. So, about anything. I mean, that's the beauty of movies, right? And TV shows and video game characters, all this stuff. It's all about relatability, right? At the end of the day, it's all about being relatable. It's all about being able to relate with them. So, that's super duper important. It is. That's not all what's about, but that's a big primary piece of what's about. Alright guys, this is the Y2K review, or once again reviewing a product from the year 2000, or at least roughly around that time. So, this is so nostalgic. It really is. This is 90s, 2000s content right here. Toy Story 1 and 2, man. Great films. My God. Long before the days of the internet, every kid under the sun from the 90s, early 2000s growing up, that had a good childhood home, hopefully growing up, was watching these films. Well, maybe, unless it just weren't for them or for that certain family, that's okay. But for all those who fell in love with these movies, mwah, y'all know how special these films are. I cannot get enough of them. I'm gonna watch Toy Story after I'm done filming this video because I'm getting nostalgic. No, instead I'm gonna go ahead and play this gem of a game right here because I really need to play it again. But thanks again, guys, for watching. Have a good one. Peace out. Take care. And till next time, this is the Y2K reviewer. This is the Y2K reviewer. Thanks again for watching. Peace out. Bye bye. 10 out of 10 movies. 10 out of 10. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You just remember what your old pal said. Yeah, you got a friend in me. Do do do. You got a friend in me, Lucy. Lucy. Sorry. Lucy.